Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Curse Dota 2 Invitational, and yeah, let's just get right into it. No mincing words. I'm here with Shred Kid. This is game 2 between Rox.KIS and Team Dignitas, the American squad, versus the Russians, and we're gonna unpause in 3, 2, 1, unpause. But yeah, we're doing some Curse games, because I'm sure you guys have already watched the TI3 Western qualifiers, and yeah, I think we will probably get to them, but I mean, this is sort of fresh in your mind, and maybe wait a couple days also to like mourn the dearly departed who did get knocked out. But no more spoilers, as we're gonna get right into this match. I heard this matchup is quite interesting, as Dignitas did manage to take game one. Rox.KIS looking to try to tap the series, as Rox.KIS, they replaced Navi because Navi had a previous engagement, so Dignitas actually went to the upper bracket, had a 1-0 disadvantage since they were in the lower bracket before Navi sort of got DQ'd, and Rox.KIS were called to replace Dignitas' spot in the loser's bracket. So Dignitas got knocked down to the loser bracket by Team Liquid, and now they're playing against Rox.KIS. And hopefully this should be a game. What do you think?
Well, I think it's going to be a good game, but the more important criteria is that it's not a game that's going to break my heart.
No.
The TI3 qualifiers were the saddest I ever felt in my life at someone else losing a video game.
I know.
So,
no spoilers. We're
I'm
not going to say who we're
anything,
sad
but
for. I mean, it could
I had
be...
a broken heart. So, this draft opens up, really standard. Team with the second pick gets rid of the Wisp Batrider. The team with the first pick takes Nyx. The other team immediately picks Nyx and will probably pick up Bane, Lina, some sort of support to go with it right now. Of course, this is... Actually, no. I'm going to take that back because this is Dignitas, and they're going to do their weird 2-1-1 with the jungler thing. So they might not offensive tri-lane like other teams automatically would when they had it, and they might just like farm the lifestealer. So we'll see.
So do you think this Nature's Prophet pick is just to completely denied to Dignitas? Actually, probably not, because I'm sure Rox.KIS, since they were in the qualifiers, they probably studied up against other opponents. I mean, they've probably been studying their opponents more intently for that qualifiers rather than Team Dignitas. So maybe they just like to use Nature's Prophet. But yeah, it is a very common here for Team Dignitas, which is why it led me to believe that this might just be sort of, we'll get it before Dignitas does. But they're going to pick up the Shadow Demon as well. One thing that is going to be a bit annoying for this lineup is that Nature's Prophet is not going to have the biggest impact until around the 15-minute mark, and if Shadow Demon and Nyx Assassin don't manage to get the requisite amount of experience, or if they don't manage to get a lot of roaming gigs going early on, they're still going to be really effective, but still, you want to have as much effectiveness as possible against a lifestealer, especially a lifestealer backed up by a Rubik, who always has potential to steal and pale, which is basically when you can get it, it's like a mini Ravage if you manage to get it on 2 or 3 people. It's pretty ridiculous.
It's pretty good. Pretty good indeed, V-Ballin. But, yeah, about that Nature's Prophet pickup, I don't really understand. And I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm saying I myself do not understand why you would pick up Prophet in the first 3 unless it's a denial pick. Because I don't know, just the way drafting works right now, I think he's really a 4 or a 5 pick, where you're like, oh yeah, Nature's Prophet kind of works for us, that'd be pretty good, instead of a, let's get this hero now because he's absolutely essential for our strategy, and they have a weakness that we can't exploit with it. Like, I don't think it comes up that early. But Dignitas will do an offensive tri-lane, so warms my cold heart a little bit. I do like to see offensive tri-lane, and Dignitas has been starting to do it a little more often. So they're going to ban out Storm Spirit to protect the Nature's Prophet. Storm's actually not that good against Nyx, but he's really good against Nature's Prophet, so I guess that's why. Yeah, Rox.KIS is just going to ban out all the mids, and Dignitas is probably going to ban out carries, and then we're going to go from there.
Yeah, I mean, Storm is a really smart ban, because if you give Dignitas any more mobility, I mean, not, of course, you have the lifesteal bomb, but also, you know, Storm with recall is pretty annoying as well, especially against the split pushing lineup. But yeah, back to the Nature's Prophet point, yeah, it might actually be sort of direct against Dignitas. Maybe they don't know for sure if Dignitas really likes the hero. Maybe they just know that Dignitas likes to play greedy, and Nature's Prophet can sort of forestall that by split pushing out other lanes. But Dignitas is gonna get rid of the Gyrocopter as well as the Alchemist, so removing 2 of those hard carries from the pool immediately. And meanwhile, Rox.KIS is bending out all the appropriate mids that Snaking could possibly take up. But curiously enough, they're leaving TA in the pool, so maybe they have some sort of game plan in mind against a TA pick, because Snaking is probably the best TA in North America. Or one of the best TAs in North America.
TA can struggle against the Nyx Assassin. I mean, you'll farm in lane, but with the Refract nerf, you really need to go phase, or not phase, you need to go Tread Drum, because you will always be out of mana. Always. So, I really don't like playing TA against Nyx Assassin just because of the mana burn. It's not even for the mid lane. I wouldn't be too worried about them getting TA, to be honest, if I was Rox.KIS. I'd be more worried about obviously the puck makes a lot of sense. And Magnus, like right now, your team doesn't have a lot of team fight. Like Nyx, Nature's Prophet, Shadow Demon, they're okay at like ganking, but not team fighting. And you don't want to get that far behind in a team fight, especially with like a Magnus, Lifestealer, Bomb, and then Keeper of the Light, Illuminate. Everybody's dead. So they're gonna pick up a Tinker.
Oh my god. Most annoying lineup in existence. All you need is a Coddle
Yeah.
on Rox.KIS' side, and then you can just pretty much QQ out of any game. This is... If this lineup gets going, this is literally the most annoying lineup to play against Tinker, Nature's Prophet. Holy shit.
This is what I like to call coward Dota. Well, I mean, what their strategy is going for is obviously Nyx is really, really strong and you don't want to fight him. So Rox.KIS is saying, okay, we're not going to fight him. We're going to disrupt him, run away from him, and push on the other sides of the map. And then our Nature's Prophet is going to have a Hex and our Tinker's going to have a Hex, and then we're going to win. I'm assuming that Rox.KIS is going to get some sort of tanky carry like an Alchemist. No, Alchemist is banned. Never mind. I would just assume that they're going to pick up some sort of tanky carry right here who can right-click really hard.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that you mentioned that because one of the problems with Tinkers and Nature's Prophet is that they'll take all the gold. So you need to get a carry that's sort of naturally tanky, sort of one that doesn't need that many items, but of course since he's a carry he will have to get items. But again, a naturally tanky carry will be of the utmost importance for Rox.KIS because they have two heavy farmers. They're going to pick up the Clockwork, so it looks like Tinker is going to be their hard carry. They're going to use Clockwork to perhaps zone out the Nyx, as well as perhaps delay the push by the Keeper of the Light and the Juggernaut combination with the Rocket Barrage, and also get that initiation onto the Coddle, which will be very, very crucial. And I mean, it's sort of annoying now since I'm a huge Clock fan, but it's sort of annoying that Clock has sort of been reduced to just cogs. So, I don't know, that's just a personal pet peeve of mine. But, I mean, it's a really good spell, and they are facing two melee heroes, which makes a lot of sense. But Dignitas is going to pick up the Queen of Pain with their last choice, so getting themselves a very stable mid-roll. And I guess we're going to have to see how this game unfolds. If Rox.KIS... I don't know, they're lagging in terms of physical DPS, but, I mean, Nature's Prophet can certainly build into that. They have a lot of split push. Meanwhile, Dignitas have a bit of an unorthodox Dignitas lineup. I've never actually seen Dignitas ever run a Juggernaut, because Juggernaut is more of a pushing carry, but it'll be interesting to see how Dignitas plays this out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to have... I'm not sure who's going to be in the tri-lane for Dignitas, but either way, it's probably going to be an offensive tri-lane. Could be a defensive and just say sacrifice Owie, but then Universe will be playing it, so... Yeah, and it's actually going to be an Nyx Assassin mid, it looks like, because Solo's playing it.
So, I guess they want to have that next up, which makes a lot of sense because, again, if they don't manage to get off to a good start, then their towers will fall really, really fast. So, having Nyx will sort of help you to secure some advantage, or not even advantage, but put some fear into the hearts of Dignitas, because Nyx Assassin at level 6, level 7, level 8 is just going to be of the utmost annoyance for Dignitas to deal with. So, getting high levels on Nyx Assassin will definitely help to sort of delay the push coming in, and once you can delay the push, then you can start the split push, and then you can annoy the heck out of Dignitas. And right now, they have some pretty good counter-pushing mobility lineup. They have Keeper of the Light, of course. They have Queen of Pain to help blink around. Keeper of the Light to turtle and recall and all that. But this is just a really un-Dignitas lineup, in my opinion. So, I mean, it could be that they're switching up some styles. It could be that they thought this would be the best draft. What do you think?
Well, didn't we cast a game recently where Dignitas did an offensive tri-lane and it worked really well?
Yeah, but I think they did it with like a Lifestealer Lone Druid, which they have run in the past.
Oh, yeah. That's
so
really standard.
that.
I mean, I can support them doing an offensive tri-lane. It looks like Universe is going to be safe lane solo. So, yeah, it's going to be an AUI in the tri-lane, playing a Juggernaut, who's probably not going to get that much farm.
30 seconds to battle.
Yeah, I mean, AUI is... It's interesting with Dignitas because Universe sometimes goes off-lane Lifestealer solo. AUI, of course, is the Lone Druid player, so he often goes into the off-lane playing that Lone Druid as sole position. But this Treant will actually die because it has 9 seconds left on the timer, so let's see how much experience this gives out. A whopping 6 experience points. This will be life and death.
Hey, it could be. On paper,
The
maybe.
battle begins.
If maybe if
It's
they're in
not
the
gonna
mid lane
be.
or something.
Yeah, oh, and Universe already getting his mana burned by Cogs. What a spell. But, yeah, we're going to actually see Dread using Cogs to harass Lifestealer in lane, and he might actually win the lane because of it. I don't know how that lane works in a one-on-one, to be honest, but I'm expecting that Clock can do pretty well. So BZZ is perfect. He's going to be playing the Tinker. I've never actually seen him play that, so we'll see how well he does. But to be honest, I think really Dignitas should slam their offensive tri-lane. Like, it's a 3v2. What is Tinker going to do to keep them off of him?
Yeah, it's interesting that Nature's Prophet actually went to the jungle, but I guess they want to have Clock get some levels as well, and Clock in a defensive tri lane isn't really as potent, but we're going to have to see how this works out. Again, a lot of the hopes on the side of Rox.KIS depend on Tinker as well as Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet jungling, of course, will be safer, but if there's a rotation by support, they could perhaps pick him up, and like you mentioned, Tinker should theoretically get shut down, but again, Dignitas gonna have to find an avenue to initiate on that because they are facing against a tower. But I'm sure that'll be, when they find the moment, they'll strike. But on the off lane, Clockwork actually went for the fast boots of speed, so I guess that he's really gonna count on his maneuverability to really overpower the lifestealer. And I think for the most part, lifestealer probably wins the lane, but I guess with the boots of speed, it might be completely different because you can just sort of escape whenever you want.
I actually might have preferred to have stats on Dread if I was him. I think they put the boots of speed on him just because they assumed that it was going to be a defensive tri-lane. But yeah, I can't think of why else he would have gone for boots. Otherwise, he would have gone for a faster bottle and just gotten stats. So, I don't know. We see Dignitas trying to control bot pole. It looks like they're going to get pretty much all of it. Yeah, they got the entire pole. So, that's why you don't pull when you have 2 people in a lane versus 3 people, one of whom is Keeper of the Light. Like, they just handed Dignitas a whole lot of experience.
But I mean, Tinker is pretty much farming as well as he could possibly hope against a tri lane, and Dignitas, I mean, way too sexy. Won't really have the best initiation, but AUI has picked up his boots of speed, so one telekinesis will mean the end of Tinker. So I guess that's why Tinker is sort of forced to play so defensive. It's just surprising that he's already picked up 8 CS, which shouldn't probably happen in any other circumstances. We're going to see a teleport to the top lane. Universe going to work on Dread. Does manage to pick up first blood, but he's going to die in exchange. The right click coming in from TI3 top 3 qualifier. I think, what was that? I can't remember. Wow.
I don't know who it is. I can't remember who their 5th player is. Sorry, guys.
GG. We're so good at casting.
Oh, bot lane spin.
Yep, telekinesis into spin into illuminate, but Tinker actually tanky enough to withstand a lot of the barrage, but unfortunately he will end up perishing. The heal ward is going to be popped by AUI, and this is the problem with this tri-lane. If you just sort of give them an inch, they can just heal up and they'll always have the advantage, especially with the Keeper of the Light. And once these heroes get their items, they'll never ever have to go back to base. That's a scary thing.
Yeah, that pretty much has infinite sustain, but it looks like they're rotating. Yeah, they are. They're rotating way too sexy to top lane.
Maybe they want to have him get a bit more experience. Maybe they know that Universe is going to be very important, but they're going to go to work onto the Nature's Prophet. Here comes the Open Wounds, way too sexy, trying to save his telekinesis for the last possible instant. He will do so successfully. Doesn't even want to use that much mana. Ends up using the Fade Bolt instead, just to pick up that last hit. Dread just going to push Universe away, denying some experience as well as draining a bit of mana. But Universe not going to be too unhappy. He managed to get a kill's worth of experience, and he already killed the Clockwork with the first blood. So overall, this is going pretty well for Dignitas, but I mean, they're gonna have to push sooner rather than later. And meanwhile, Fog gonna get initiated on the bottom lane. Nature's Prophet Sprout will be there, and meanwhile, the King managed to take out the Nyx Assassin as Vanscore will die as well. The March Machine's going to work, and AUI will end up dying as well. The Healing Ward just gonna be popped a little bit too late. Thank God the Healing Ward does not give up any gold. Otherwise, that would have been a little bit of waste, but it's good for AUI to try. Unfortunately, the Healing Ward will be on cooldown for quite a bit, but that probably doesn't matter. But yeah, Queen of Pain killing off the Nyx.
Whoa, how'd that
this
happen?
matchup?
That's not supposed to happen that way. Here's the deal. When you're playing Queen of Pain, Nyx Assassin is literally the most annoying thing to play against, with the exception of Dragon Knight, maybe. And it's simply because what happens is you can't ever go on him. If you blink on him to try to, blow him up, it's pretty straightforward, right? He reflects your whatever your nuke is, so you take 300 damage, then he stuns you, then he mana burns you, and then he hits you with his invis, and then you're dead. There's nothing you can do about it. You can never go on him until you get a BKB. So that's, I think Solo might have messed up a little bit, or Sneaking maybe got a lucky rune. I didn't see either way. But I actually wanted to comment on, this is going actually really well for Tinker, I think. Does he have a Soul Ring on the courier? Yeah, that's his Soul Ring. So this should not be going this well. And the reason it is because Rox.KIS was able to sort of deflect a lot of attention away from bot lane by moving the Fury onto top lane. So even though he died, it's okay because it's giving Tinker a lot of space. And they're going to try to go on him, but he'll just back up.
Meanwhile, Nyx does manage to pick off the Queen of Pain in the middle lane. I did not catch that, but Queen of Pain I assume was out of mana because Snaking was just getting his bottle, I think... Oh, it was actually getting delivered to him, so great time for Nyx Assassin to strike. And actually I was going to comment on that. I think this is one of the few... I mean, of course, this matters, but this is one of the few matchups that you could actually comment... Well, actually, Vanscore getting initiated on. The Illuminate actually does manage to whiff a little bit, and AY just going to take a bit of damage to his troll, but... I think this is one of the matches you can make an excuse like, oh, I didn't get the Spike Carapace off for that Scream Pain Reflect because of the lag. So, I don't know. I don't usually like to give excuses, but I think this is one of the few cases you could say, okay, I couldn't get this Scream Pain Reflect because of lag.
Yeah, I mean, it is a really volatile matchup. Someone can die in under a second in either way in that lane. So, so far it looks like it's kind of going both, with each person having a kill. Sneaking's going, he baits out the Reflect. And Sneaking could actually dive him right there, but he's going to go for the Rune instead. It would have been close, so I think Sneaking made the wiser decision.
Yeah, he's 1-1, and if you look at the CS, actually Nyx is beating him, so really well done by Solo. But is forced to go back to base. Poor man's shield is not something you see every day on Nyx Assassin because he has such good regen, but I guess in this lane it's working wonders.
It's really good to get pulled regen on a Nyx when you're against a Queen of Pain or like a Puck or something, because you can either go for the Wraith Band and then just outlast hit them because he's already got pretty decent base damage, or just go for the poor man's shield and just never take damage. I don't understand why Ice Frog buffed him to get like 3 point whatever HP regen, but he did.
Well, I mean, in the old days, I think for about 12 or 13 or 15 versions, Nyx was permabanned. Remember Arzar?
Yeah.
Nyx was his money hero. That was the good old days. I guess Ice Frog was like, alright, gotta get Nyx since Visage and Spectre aren't really in the top tier of the metagame.
Yeah, I mean, heroes come and go. It's just kind of how it works.
Yep, as Tinker is still farming relatively well, going to take Illuminate right to the chin, but again, has finished the Soul Ring and is about 1200 away from his Boots of Travel, and he could probably just... Well, I mean, he wants the bottle, of course, but if he really wanted to get the Boots of Travel before, he would have probably picked up the bottle. Or if he wanted to get the bottle before, he probably would have picked it up by now, but Snaking looking to initiate, but unfortunately the Rox.KIS playing a bit too defensively, and Snaking will be thwarted, so Dignitas' movement really not working
top
out
lane,
for them.
Dread's getting gone on. He cogs himself in with Universe. Universe gets a slow off, but it looks like Dread's going to be able to get away and bottle up.
Yeah, but Dignitas' movement, they look a little bit unsure. I think they know they have a pushing up, but they're like, alright, how do we push?
Well, Rox.KIS right now is moving around the map really, really well. The Fury on like where he is on the map is kind of making Dignitas react to him as opposed to them just making a decision and going for it. They're having to react to where the Furion is or what's happening in mid lane. So Rox.KIS has actually got Dignitas in the back foot. Mid lane, the Reflect doesn't happen. Is there enough mana for this? Oh no. Then Sneaking isn't going to use another nuke, but that was very close. Solo just misses his Reflect.
And Snaking just going to bottle up as the hookshot just barely whiffs. Actually, almost perfectly predicted Snaking's movement, but Snaking will be able to get the bottom rune uncontested. Here comes the telekinesis. The Illuminate does miss, unfortunately for Dignitas, but Snaking already had to use a lot of his regen, so he might just be forced to pop the DD right off the bat. As Dread looking to get some experience in the middle lane, already level 6, just waiting for that hook cooldown to cool down before he goes back to get more lanes. And this will probably be the opening that... Yeah. Oh, no. I guess Nyx doesn't want to go ganking on a different lane. He just wants to go back mid. Interesting.
Well, I think something about Nyx Assassin, and the reason why he was stopped being played mid a lot, was because his ganks were extremely obvious, even more so than anybody else. Like, other heroes use smoke, or they get all their ganks with a counter gank TP. But Nyx Assassins would sit mid, and then they try to gank a lane, and it would fail, and they do it again, and it would fail, and then they're out of the game. So I think it actually makes more sense to... Oh,
AUI on the bottom lane gonna slice and dice, but just a little bit off the mark. Beautiful! Oh, I thought he did get the disruption onto the Tinker, but Shao Demon actually evaporated, Snaking out of mana. I think he actually right-clicked. He would have been able to get the kill, but might have been juked by the illusions, and Snaking forced the bottle. What a disruption. That was clutch as hell. Snaking gonna get stunned. Will he die? He will die. Wow, really, really beautiful play by Vanscore. He is definitely making a name for himself on the shouting. He has been able to get these disruptions off in a lot of these matches I've been watching him recently, as that was clutch as hell.
Yeah, I don't think there's any other way to say it, really. Vanscore is my favorite player on this team. I don't know that much about him except what I've seen in the international qualifiers, but him and Dredd are really tearing it up. So, wow. And BZZ's almost got his BOT when he had to lane against that tri-lane.
Wow, he's gonna have a 10-minute Boots of Travel Soul Ring, and usually when you have a Trial and Tinker, you don't always get the Soul Ring, you just want to rush the Boots of Travel. But you managed to get the Soul Ring and the Boots of Travel, and Dignitas have yet to push down a tower, and this might become a problem. Hanamice has already been finished on Nature's Prophet, gonna pick up a Blades of Attack, so I'm not too sure what that's for. He's gonna pick
BZZ's
up
getting
a
gone on
Face.
sneaking one more auto attack. Oh, he'll be okay.
Yeah, without the Sonic Wave, really just not enough burst. But Tinker had his Boots of Travel, was able to teleport out to safety. But yeah, this is starting to look a little bit iffy for Dignitas because they haven't taken down any towers, and now this pushing lineup can really start becoming a problem.
Mid lane, sneaking's gonna get gone on. There's going to be one. Oh my god, this is so close. People just kept getting really close to dying, and they're not going down. Sorry to keep cutting you off, buddy, but
No problem. I think I already made my point twice, so you know, I don't think I'll repeat myself a third time. But yeah, Dignitas, what do you think their game plan should be right now? Should they go for ganks? Should they, you know, group up and push with the ward?
I think they need to get rid of bot tower. That's the most important tower. If they get rid of bot, and then they can rotate through the enemy jungle, secure that, and then take mid tower. Once those two towers are down, Tinker's a lot less scary, and then they can start having map control to start getting pickoffs with the Queen of Pain and Nakes, which is what they're really going to need to do.
Meanwhile, Clock just constantly pressuring people on the top lane. Well, not pressuring, just keeping the creep eagle in back. As meanwhile, Rox.KIS looking to apply a bit of pressure on the bottom lane. It looks like Dignitas is trying to get AUI some solo experience, and here comes a disruption, gonna layer some March, but AUI should be okay, as the missile actually doing a lot of work. AUI forced all the way back to base, or he might be forced to pop his healing ward. He's gonna pop his healing ward, but that means he's gonna be without a Blade Fairy. No, he has 5 magic stick charges, so he will have that Blade Fairy at the very least if he wants to go back and get a bit of farm. But AUI being pressured back all the while. Meanwhile, on the top lane, Dread. Wow, what the hell was that? Did you see the lifesteal interaction? He was
Yeah, that was
outside of
weird.
the cogs and then he got sucked back into it. What the hell was that?
Cogs are pretty buggy.
Cogs are
I don't
pretty
really
buggy.
understand how they work sometimes. And way too sexy might even go down. Oh no, but Universe is just going to turn around, Illuminate coming through, and it looks like Nature's Prophet will fall.
Meanwhile, Dread gonna have to get the heck out of there. Not much mana. Cogs, fortunately for him, is such a cheap spell in terms of mana cost, but not enough. Had 5 magic wand charges, but did not decide to use them. As here comes a rotation by an assassin looking to go on to Fogged. Fogged will more certainly die. No, the Vendetta hit does not miss, but Cupid Ledge is so squishy. As way too sexy, I think he stole the mana burn. He did steal the mana burn. As Solo gonna be able to escape. Universe did have full mana, but without any sort of enforcement. Couldn't really hope to kill the Nyx assassin in the duration of one rage, and then Nyx would just be able to get the stun off. So overall, good counter gank. Unfortunately for the Nyx assassin, couldn't get the Vendetta hit off, but still, I mean, that didn't really matter too much in the end. But yeah, Dignitas winning in terms of kills, but Nature's Prophet really not being that big of a factor, and he's going to become a bigger and bigger problem as time goes on.
Yeah, Dignitas' lineup strikes me as a lineup that has a plan and they have to execute it, and then, you know, that's how they win the game. Whereas Rox.KIS just seems like a we'll take openings where they come lineup with the amount of global mobility that they have. So right now I would favor Rox.KIS, you know?
Yeah, especially Nature's Prophet only has a Midas to his name. Tinker, interesting enough,
Tinker's got a lot.
Yeah, not going for the bottle. Is the bottle
Well,
really
you
a
don't
necessity?
take it down safe lane Tinker. You only take it from mid.
No, but I've seen Tinkers in the past, I guess, get both, but I don't know. I guess I don't
It's not
play
a
Tinker.
it's not a hard and fast rule, but I think most people prefer to not get it when you're given safe lane Tinker.
I mean, that makes sense. But meanwhile, the bomb tower gonna get assaulted by Dignitas. The tower is in deny range, 1 HP, as snaking with Leicester inside him, gonna initiate onto Dread. Dread gonna be defensively disrupted, gonna forestall his death as Dread does manage to get a nice 2-man cogs before he dies, as AUI and Universe gonna be trapped in the cogs. The Mabber going to work. BZZ does manage to pick up the kill on AUI. Universe is looking to retreat, but he does have the armlet really nicely done as he's looking to escape. No more mana on the Nyx assassin. Here comes the teleport in by the Nature's Prophet, but he gets immediately lifted by Way Too Sexy. We're gonna see a buyback by AUI. He has the Omni Slash. He's looking for blood, but no, he is gonna be thwarted. But overall, that did favor Rox.KIS, and I mean, they've got to be feeling pretty good. Nyx Assassin has a 14.5-minute dagger, and they're going to get the Tower Knight to boot. This is looking suddenly... I mean, it's definitely... I mean, they have a Lifesteal and a Juggernaut and a lot of really strong heroes, but it's certainly not looking good at this moment for Rox.KIS, or
No.
for Dignitas.
Not at all. And Sneaking's got problems, speedballing. You don't want to, like, I just get so frustrated when I'm trying to play Queen of Pain against a Nyx Assassin, and this is why. You can't do anything. Every time he tries to cast a nuke, Nyx Assassin runs in, he uses his Carapace, so that's your stun and damage, and then you just die. And Sneaking has nothing, and he needs a BKB as soon as possible. Like, he can't come to fights without one. So right now, if I was him, honestly, I just keep my treads on strength, split push, and try to see what happens. But up, bot lane.
Oh, hook shot by Dread does manage to get out. Way too sexy, way too sexy. Will most certainly die. One last auto attack by the Nature's Prophet will seal his fate as AY with the Blade Fury gonna bypass a lot of the March Machine damages. Universe gonna turn on, but the Vendetta was used. So unfortunately, not enough damage to kill off University. Armor toggles yet again. The Healing Ward is gonna be popped in fast. Not doing enough. His Keeper does manage to pick off the Nature's Prophet. Here comes staking on the assault, but the Spike Carapace gonna delay his assault a little bit longer. Solo will try to escape with the blink, but Snaking has enough mana to keep up the chase. Gonna probably pick up the kill unless Solo does manage to get a nice juke. No, Snaking waiting for the optimal moment does manage to secure the kill. Really nicely done by Dignitas right there. They took the fight so deep, but the reinforcements were just too good. I mean, Lifestealer, they threw a lot of eggs into that basket in terms of bringing him down. But I mean, if you've seen any of these games, you know Lifestealer's next to impossible to bring down in the early stages of the game.
That hero's harder to kill than Pocket with the armor toggle or with just the phase drum. So he's running really fast. He's got the toggle. He's got magic immunity. He can heal like full HP off one creep. You can get in someone run away. Like, I think he's the hardest hero in the game to kill. Like even harder than like a Weaver or Puck or something. Just because everything he has is a mechanism to live longer.
And he has a pretty damn good damage output with magic immunity. You know, he's top tier for a reason. But meanwhile, Rox.KIS have only lost one tower. Unfortunately for them, Nature's Prophet farm has been stalled by quite a bit. Has picked up the Claymore, and if we look at the Nyx Assassin farm, you mentioned pick up his dagger, but what would you go for Nyx from here on out? Would you go for something like Ghost Scepter against Lifestealer? Would you go for something like Necrobook? I don't know.
This is where it gets to be what your team's game plan is, because now it's really flexible. I would not get a Dagon because of the amount of magic immunity on Dignitas, and you know Sneaking's building a BKB. Rox.KIS is actually going to go... Oh, he's going to go on way too sexy, and whap, bam, Clockwork Rocket taking him down. Hurry up, use the dagger! You can do it!
Oh, really nice play by Dread as Solo. I think he just wanted to waste Fog's time a little bit longer, wait till the last possible instant, but Snaking gonna initiate back in with Universe. Universe out of mana, a nice 2-mana impale will help to save the lives of Rox.KIS and Dignitas forced to retreat, and that is going to be a pretty crucial cooldown.
Sneaking.
Yep, as Snaking taking a lot of damage, looks like Vanscore did end up dying, and meanwhile Solo gonna be back into the thick of things, gonna get an impale stun, but that healing ward just too damn powerful in the open engagement. But it's gonna be a 1-for-1 trade, and I mean Rox.KIS definitely can't be too displeased. Support for another support, pretty good.
I'm not gonna... I don't know. I'm not gonna say who won that fight because I'm not really entirely sure who did, but yeah, Furion isn't even gonna be able to get bot tower, so I'm gonna say that's pretty much a wash. And what was denied? Top tower, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, the Nyx Assassin is going to go in for a kill, but I think Necrobook, Blade Mail, or Silent Stick, or a Hex is what he's going to go for.
And this is when it becomes incredibly annoying for Dignitas. When Tinker picks up his dagger, he's going to be essentially immortal, as Nyx Assassin does manage to pick off Keeper of the Light with the haste rune, as here comes the teleport in by Nature's Prophet. He does manage to get the courier, so Rox.KIS already picking up a couple of small victories in this engagement already, as the Universe looking to perhaps engage, just going to retreat. The Healing Ward has been used, and that is the time for Dignitas to back off. Without the Healing Ward, they can't possibly hope to fight, and they're just going to retreat accordingly. But now, with Tinker, with the dagger, no courier for Dignitas. I mean, they still have the Aegis, but still, it's going to be really tough.
And Rox.KIS should dodge fights, I think, for the next 5 minutes or so.
For the rest of the
they've
game.
got... Well, they could, but there are going to be times when they're stronger, right? Yeah. So I think for a little bit, the Lifestealer, Queen of Pain, Juggernaut, it's going to be really strong. But once Tinker gets an item up, and once Nyx gets an item up, and even Furion for that matter, I think they should dodge fights until all those heroes have an item, and then they should start taking fights again.
Look at the last hits. Nature's Prophet 110, Universe almost 100, Tinker 95. And if you look at the farm levels, I mean, AUI's got to be feeling very sad. 66, yes. I mean, he's been playing offlane a little bit more, so he's probably not, you know, unaccustomed to this, but still, he can't be too happy on the amount of farm he has. Only 67. He's getting outfarmed by 3 heroes on the side of Rox.KIS. Looking at the net worth, Rox.KIS have 3 of the top 4. Universe does have the highest net worth, but that's going to be eclipsed very, very soon by the Tinker as well as the Nature's Prophet. Well, maybe not right now when this tower is about to die.
BZZ! He needs one more auto, and that should be it. Sneaking, blowing up the ult to get him.
definitely worth it. I mean, where else would you use that? As AOI going to get recalled onto the top lane. Rubik does manage to pick off the Shadow Demon as Tinker is going to buy back, looking to preserve this tower as long as possible. Way too sexy. Going to take a lot of damage. She will end up dying as we're going to see the tower dying as well to AUI's burst damage. The Shadow Blade will allow Nature's Prophet to dance in and out of the engagement. Snaking going to get hooked. He's going to get impaled. He's completely out of mana. He is going to die. That buyback looking to be worth it thus far as the Omni Slash being dispersed around a multitude of targets. AOI out of mana, can't possibly hope to fight this. He will die. The blind light actually pushing people away from the way, but Dread does manage to take a little bit of that. Rocket gonna fly in with the mana bird, does manage to pick off Fogged, and Dignitas seemingly losing this engagement as here comes teleport in by Nature's Prophet Universe. Arma toggling as if his life depended on it, because quite frankly it does. Soul blinks in, the impale whiffs. Oh man, I think he might have just gotten just a little bit fogged or something like that, or he just ground targeted and just fucked up. But that was the first sure kill on Lifestealer, and if that did happen, that would have been complete disasters for Dignitas.
I think.
Well, I mean, he had the Aegis anyway, so I could be over exaggerating.
Well, the Aegis is going to fall off soon. I don't think they're going to get a chance to use it, but I think Rox.KIS is just playing better in these team fights. Like, I think that's what's happening. They're just executing a little bit better right now. And how close is the Tinker to Hex? He's actually not that close. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you something, because I think we got a little bit desynced. What time are you at in-game?
I am at 55, 56, 57, 58.
Okay, we're like a full half minute off. What minute are you on?
31, 31, 04, 05, 06, 07.
Okay. I have fixed it.
Okay. Alright, anyways, looks like Rox.KIS trying to get themselves a bottom tier 1 tower, but AUI and Snaking are in position. Meanwhile, Universe and Way Too Sexy getting spotted out, gonna initiate onto Wasted Texas yet again, will end up dying as Soul gonna pop the Spike Carapace, looking to retreat, gonna get open wounds. He will probably die in this exchange as he's gonna take Illuminate, but no, he has Ghost Scepter and he's looking to blink on out of there. The Disruption gonna actually be used on Snaking. That might have been a little bit of a misplay as the Sonic Wave is gonna be used to blow. Dread is gonna be trapped into the cogs. Might have been a misplay, just trying to save his Nick Assassin, but unfortunately just a split second too late. Dignitas gonna get a 2-for-1 in that exchange as Nick Assassin actually gonna buy it back, and we're gonna see teleport by the Nature's Prophet, perhaps looking to try to get the courier again, but that courier safely back at the fountain. But yeah, what was the deal with that buyback?
I'm not entirely sure. I think he was upset that he lost the gem and really, really wanted to get it back, and then he's... Oh, maybe his TP was on cooldown. I don't know. I didn't really see. That really does suck though when you buy back and then you realize that your TP's on cooldown for like another 10 seconds after you buy it, and you're like, well, I just wasted 1,000 gold. But AUI's items are actually progressing. He's going for the Aghanims build, which is more and more popular on like the off-lane Juggernaut, simply because people are like, well, you're not going to be a full right-click carry, so you know why not just play him around the Omni Slash and Ward.
You know, Rox.KIS cleverly blocking out the stack camp. They know Dignitas does like to stack those camps severely, and Solo gonna get spotted by the ward, so Dignitas probably know for sure that camp was in fact blocked, as Meow Universe does have finished Saint and Yasha, so he's gonna be a bit speedier. Definitely want to have that extra bit of mobility since he avoided getting the drum, since Juggernaut was the drum scare for his teams. But right now, Dignitas in a little bit of a shaky position, can't really push down lane that easily. But Rox.KIS, I mean, they have a lot of room to grow as well. So overall, this is just going to be, I feel like, a very stale portion of the game. But, I mean, for a Dignitas game, this game is quite action-packed already.
Huh. Yeah. Always looking on the bright side, I guess. But, Tinker actually picks up the Mystic Staff first. He's one of the few heroes that actually does that. Almost everyone else goes for the Ultimate Orb. And you know what? I would be happy if Solo goes for the Ethereal Blade. I would be so happy if he did that.
I mean, it'd be pretty damn good. Well,
it actually wouldn't be that good, I think.
yeah, I just realized they have a lot of magic damage, as 2 minutes is the call. But, I mean, he does sort of have the Spike Carapace, so maybe he can E-Blade and then pop the Spike and say, well, what are you going to do about this? But then again, I mean, Quap is almost to BKB, so that could just completely negate that.
Yeah, and the thing is, the 5 seconds on a BKB isn't enough for a Queen of Pain against the next assassin. Like, you need a full 10-second BKB against him, because you can't kill him in the span of, 5 seconds normally. So what ends up having to happen is you're on him and you're trying to kill him, and then, your BKB wears off and he turns around and laughs at you and does a nuke for like 1,000 damage, and then you die. So the BKB is good for a little bit. but it's not an all-game immunity. Like, you have to make something happen off of it. And with this BKB almost completed, I think that they really should group up and take mid tower. You know what? I would try to go for the 3 towers, both mids and bot tower, off of sneaking BKB. I know that seems pretty ambitious, but I think they can do it.
Well, I mean, he still has to farm about 410 gold, and then he will have it finished. Man, do you see that arithmetic? God damn, I'm good. But
I mean,
anyways,
better than I am at arithmetic.
Nature's Prophet gonna go for the Hex himself. Double Hex, of course, is really, really, really awesome. I mean, that's the reason why sometimes 5 intelligence carry lineup, or 5 intelligence heroes can potentially outlast a more traditional lineup, just because they do have easy access into that Hex. But where's
Hex
the
is-
right
yeah.
click damage gonna come from?
Well, I don't know if... Okay. I'm going to phrase this incorrectly because this is never a concept that I've tried to talk about before, but it's Rox.KIS has what I guess I would call a lineup that isn't dependent on right-clicking, even though they don't have massive teamfight abilities, just because they have so many abilities that are so annoying that I think that they can just get by on having more items, not necessarily right-click items. So what I'm talking about is Clockwork Cogs, March of the Machines, everything Nyx offers, and Prophet's Ult bouncing around the map, meaning that he's always going to be in like another place so he can dodge fights if he wants to. I think that because of the amount of zoning spells that they have and where they can control where you're standing in a fight, and even if a fight happens to begin with, I think it's okay that they don't have right click. If that made sense.
I mean, yeah, it makes sense, but sooner rather than later, I think Dignitas will probably realize that. I mean, Heart is sort of phased out in Lifesteal these days, but if Universe ever picks up a Heart and Juggernaut faces the Aghanims, how are you gonna kill these guys? I mean,
Yeah,
I
it'll
guess
be
you gotta
tricky.
have to fully kill off his entire team, but with a really nice duration of BKB up on the Quap, as they're gonna find Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet will probably die. He is gonna get revealed as he will end up dying. Here comes Tinker with the potential re-engagement as, oh man, Soul getting sliced and diced by the Omni Slash. Here comes the buyback by the Nature's Prophet. Dread actually not able to get the cogs in correctly because the cogs push Universe away. Here comes Snaking, lining up a Songwave, does manage to hit multiple heroes, really nicely done, as Dignitas gonna be very, very happy with this engagement. They managed to pick up the Nature's Prophet, forced him to buy back, and their tower, or the creepy golem on the top lane, is still relatively pushed. They're gonna heal up back to full HP, and Dread probably looking to escape. Should be successful, but still, Dignitas have to be feeling good about how that played out.
Yeah, this is exactly what they need to do. Take one tower, take the next, and rotate the bot. Nyx is gonna come in. Uh-oh. That's gonna be bad.
Oh man, the Blink triple impale by Solo, Mana Burn, or Mana Leak onto the Nyx. Not gonna accomplish too much at this point. Solo taking a lot of damage. He will get blown up by the Illuminate because of the Ghost Scepter, as Dread once again zoning people out with the cogs. Gonna pop the rockets, gonna force Way Too Sexy back at solo HP, and the push has been stalled completely. Nyx assassin in exchange for stopping the push, as Nature's Prophet was so close to actually picking up this tower, and he does manage to get it. AUI just a little bit slow on the uptake. Maybe it was really, really hard to time because of the Siege Wagon, as well as the Chance, which you of course can micro, but yeah, overall, something that trade is looking a little bit less good for Dignitas.
Yeah. No matter how much you win fights, that Prophet is always going to be on the side of the map, just making things awful. And now that I'm starting to think about it, this might be why teams pick him up so early, just because if they feel like they can't take you in team fights, like against the Nakes, at least you can take towers on the other side of the map. So maybe teams do it in a response to him, I think. Maybe. I don't know. I'm actually going to pull up the Golden XP graph because I haven't looked at them. But yeah, it's kind of what I would expect.
Yeah, Dignitas have a slight experience advantage. Meanwhile, Rox.KIS have a slight gold advantage because they have more towers and they're able to outfarm the side of Dignitas. But Universe picked up the Basher, so he really, wants to have a bit of lockdown, keeping people in place, which is going to be really, really important, especially when his rage is down, getting a bit of extra auto attack in terms of locking Nyx down or locking other people down. It's going to be really, really important. But, Rox.KIS is starting to get more and more map control. They're starting to slowly push out of their side of the map. And this is only going to become a bigger and bigger problem as the game goes on. I mean, they still can't contest Rush, but I don't think they care.
Yeah, it's not a big deal. Like, they can just dodge fights. Simply because Dignitas isn't going to be able to knock at your tier 3 before Roshan falls off, or the Aegis falls off, so it's not really a big deal that they lose Roshan. And I had a mechanics question for you. If you laser a Lifestealer, and then he rages, does he still have the miss percentage?
I don't think he does.
Okay. Or it's not even a percentage now, it's just guaranteed. But yeah, okay. So I was gonna say, if that's the way it is, I would definitely go for an MKB, but I think you can just go for an assault, maybe an abyssal, maybe a heart, one of the three.
You know, Nature's Prophet pressuring the top lane, Tinker pressuring the bottom lane, and then again, this is going to become more and more annoying as the game goes on. Tinker almost has Zex, no buyback, so if Dignitas do manage to kill him off, he will be dead for quite a long time, and that could lead to a couple of towers being taken by Dignitas. But then again, there is a Nature's Prophet as well, as this has got to be one of the most infuriating lineups. Not only are you facing a Nyx, as AUI going to get besieged by an assassin, he breaks into the trees, he's actually trapped, as Fogged might be knowing where he is. No, Soul is actually in the perfect location as Dread looking to zone Dignitas away with the cogs, and will do so successfully as man Solo caught in the worst possible position. Gonna blink out as Dignitas gonna pop the smoke. Oh no, it might get broken immediately. It does not, as Dignitas, fortunate for them, the smoke is still preserved, but May Nyx still saw the animation. I'm not too sure.
I think he caught the smoke, but it doesn't matter. I think it was a chasing smoke anyway, not a ganking smoke. Just to chase him for the move speed, but either way, it doesn't matter.
You know, AUI looking to push down the middle lane has finished his Aghanim, so that's going to be really, really helpful as Nyx Assassin, once again, just does not care about the support. It's going to kill off Fogged immediately. Looking to on the way too sexy. Dread's hook is just a little bit off the mark as AY is taking a boatload of damage. Going to try to Blade Fury his way out of their universe. Going to go to work with the right click as he does manage to pick off the Nyx, but AY is already dead. No Healing Ward will be there for the next 50 seconds as BZZ, of course, can just teleport in and out, in and out. Nyx Assassin for a two heroes on the side of Dignitas. It's going to be really, really nice for Rox.KIS as Universe just saying screw this, going to a different lane, but Scythe Device has been fished by the Nature's Prophet, and I've got to imagine, yeah, Scythe Device is going to be fished by the Tinker at the exact same moment, and suddenly, I mean, it's already looking not so good, but now it's looking downright bad for Dignitas.
I'm not entirely sure if it's bad. I don't know how Rox.KIS is going to end the game. They have the ability to stall the game out by having split pushers, and when Dignitas gets strong, and they can, you know, just Rox.KIS can just go in the other lanes and push the other lanes. But I don't know how Rox.KIS actually groups up and ends the game. I know they can prolong it forever, but
Yeah, I guess that could be an issue, especially since Nature's Prophet going for a bit more caster heavy build. I'm sure it'll transition DPS, but I mean, I guess when it comes down to play, when Dignitas realizes, alright, we're not winning these fights, we'll just sit in our base. You can take our tier 2s, but you can't take our freedom. Well, I guess you can if you take all the tier 2s, but anyway, yeah, that could be a huge issue. And it is pretty difficult.
Map control's good, but at a point, Tinker gets really diminishing returns on his items after his next item. Like, one more item is like as strong as he will be, and then yeah, he can get more stuff, and it's nice, and he can control the lanes, but at that point it's like, okay, you're using one person, and you're sheeping another, and you're hiding. Like, what else can you do?
So do you think Dagon is the answer?
No, because there's so much magic immunity, he'll just get blown up. I think he should go Lincoln's.
Do you think for Rox.KIS, like, once they get enough map control, do you think they should just mass Necrobooks? I think that might be a good option.
I would support a Necrobook on the Furion.
No, Necrobook on everybody, as Fogged gonna get initiated on by the middle lane. Does manage to pop his mechanism, but the Wrath of Nature doing a lot of damage as well. Fogged gonna die once again as Tinker. Ooh. Just gonna, yeah. He is gonna get caught. Teleport, beautiful smoke as Snaking is, oh, Snaking the blink. What, shift killing Tinker, so impossible to kill. Snaking gonna get X, but Universe is there saying, what's up, you forgot about me? I'm still here. And meanwhile, AUI is slicing and dicing the Furion. Here comes Dread with the hook, looking to preserve the Furion's life. They don't want to have to use 2 buybacks as AUI just looking to teleport out of there. Will get disrupted as that was a weird teleport. He teleported after the Blade Fair as AUI gonna take a lot of damage. He will probably die as well. The Bounty Cell in conjunction with the Soul Catcher doing a lot of damage, with Dread just getting bashed to pieces in this Lifestar. Just honestly can't be stopped. No, the Hex is there. Scratch that as he might just end up being stopped. He will get Chain Hex down. The Aegis is gonna expire. Rox.KIS looking to perhaps take a re-engagement, but he's gonna immediately pop the rage, go to work. BZZ gonna get disrupted as Solo gonna pop his Ghost Scepter. Universe at full HP looking to retreat. He knows the hexes are there as, oh man, BZZ gonna die. That is gonna be his second death. He already used his buyback. Rox.KIS Solo gonna die as well. The sustainability and the lack of DPS by Rox.KIS, like we mentioned earlier, just really, really hurting them in these engagements. The healing ward, the keeper light recalling people. They're saying, hey, we can have a lot of mobility as well.
Yeah, these fights are just kind of weird to watch. With Rox.KIS basically, Universe.
Teleporting right in front of Nyx. He didn't know the Nyx is there. Nyx gonna get re-engaged upon. Vendetta is gonna be used. He's gonna have to use his Ghost Scepter. He will do that, but the Illuminate is gonna be there. The Infest in conjunction with the Illuminate, more than enough to pick up the kill as Nyx gonna throw away his life. Did he die twice? I'm gonna have to check.
I believe he did.
Yeah, Tinker and NA both bought back, and they both died. That is a huge chunk of gold being lost.
Yeah,
Rox.KIS.
That's how you lose games. When you die in a carry and you buy back and then you die again. Or at least that's how I lose games, because that seems to happen every time I play a carry. But yeah, it's literally the worst thing you can happen. Like, I would have think that Rox.KIS would have preferred to lose 3 towers to, the buyback death. That did happen. But yeah, we're seeing it with the way these fights work is basically Rox.KIS has all the really annoying stuff with Disruption and Purge and March and Cogs and everything. And Dignitas kind of struggles at the beginning, and then when all of Rox.KIS' stuff is dead, Universe does whatever he wants. And I think that's how that worked, right? Like, that's how the
Yeah,
fight
I
out?
mean, that's pretty much how it went. Juggernaut was pretty much irrelevant. Universe just said, alright, whatever. I'll just use my Rage, and then you can double Hex me. I have the Aegis. I will stand that. Vanscore gonna defensively disrupt himself, but he is mana-licked. He's gonna be trapped by the entirety of Dignitas. He will die, but meanwhile, if you look on the minimap, you can see Nature's Prophet looking to siege down the top tower as they're going to see Solo blink out of there, snaking just a little bit too slow on the reactions as Solo blinking away to safety. Meanwhile, Nature's Prophet looking to try to besiege the base. Tinker gonna blink out. And meanwhile, the Nature's Prophet managed to take out a hefty chunk of the tier 3 HP tower, and Lifestealer has the gem with the Abyssal Blade, gonna kill off the Nature's Prophet. Fortunately for the Nature's Prophet, he did not die in that huge engagement as Omnislash going down does manage to pick off Dread as this game is starting to turn into a complete bloodbath. Very atypical for a Dignitas game as Dignitas AY will end up falling. Solo gonna have his mana drained once again by the mana leak. He is gonna just stand in one place, gonna take Illuminate, just redirects it back at Fog, saying right back at you, buddy. As meanwhile, oh man, the underlying theme in these fights is Universe can do whatever he wants, apparently.
Basically. I mean, Universe, I think I keep saying this in all my casts with you, but that guy's really good at every single role. And we're seeing him, perform on a carry this game. He's just kind of owning. It's his thing. But yeah, I'm hearing Benny Hill theme music in all these fights in my head because they're so chasey and clowny. Like, these fights are just weird.
I don't know if you watched like Dota 1, but towards the end of Dota 1's lifespan, the Chinese, this is what happened.
They just,
it was just mass chasing.
Yeah, it was weird.
It was
I stopped
awesome.
watching Dota 1 when Dota 2 came out, but I saw a little bit of Dota 1, and it was weird. Like,
I mean,
there's
it was the Chinese chasing people.
Oh
Slardar
shit! I
and
just
Weaver.
spilled my water all over my keyboard. I'll be back.
Good shit, dude. As meanwhile, Snaking gonna do some dewarding. Leicester, of course, has the gems, so Snaking will deward. Very, very annoying mechanic, but, it's in the game. As the Horde looking to fuel up Dignitas with the March Machines just constantly pushing people back, and meanwhile, on the other side of the map, Nature's Prophet looking to take the last, or one of the last tier 2s, as Snaking gonna teleport in. Nature's Prophet gonna cast his Shadow Blade as Dread initiated, setting the TP, but Snaking actually cancels the TP, or managed to get hooked, but either way, Dread gonna sacrifice his life in exchange for the tier 2 being picked up by the Nature's Prophet. The March Machines continue to be spammed, but Dignitas finally, 36 minutes of the game, will be able to pick up the tier 1 mid, and they're gonna have to immediately back off. Such an annoying game as Universe. Will you get the first hit bash? No, just a little bit out of the range, but it does manage to get at the last millisecond Nature's Prophet teleportation as Nature's Prophet is on the run. Hex coming in from Tinker, just trying to help out his buddy. He knows that the Nature's Prophet has already bought back. He does not want to have to buy back again, or he does not want to be dead for 70 seconds. Is Tinker going to blink out to safety? Rox.KIS just playing the most annoying Dota I've ever seen. And it's making for some really, really interesting engagements. Meanwhile, in Tinker World, we'll see what he goes for now. Might have to go for something like Shiva's, Yo's, like Stride Kid mentioned earlier. That could all be a significant possibility for this Tinker. BZ is banking on 2,900 gold, but buyback is going to be the key stat in this game for Rox.KIS. Meal for Dignitas, it's just going to be holding on to their towers. His nature's probably becoming more and more pesky. He's going to go for a Desolator, which is going to be really, really crucial in terms of breaking down the towers. Snaking, unfortunately, Invest probably was on cooldown, so Snaking only teleported back by himself. Nature's probably just going to get the heck out of there regardless. But meanwhile, Universe going to get spotted out by Solo, but they can't honestly hope to kill him off. He's just way too difficult to deal with, and Snaking actually just gets recalled in by Keeper of the Light, and the siege does continue. Fucking A. Meanwhile, Universe is going to find himself hexed up. AUI just going to work. Does want to save his healing ward as a double hex comes in for Universe. They're going to hex up the Tinker. Defensively disrupted is going to be the Tinker Dread going to hook in. He will die, but Tinker manages to blink out to safety as Solo looking to escape. Might end up perishing. Going to pop his Ghost Scepter. Can he blink out? He does blink out at the last possible instant, but suddenly it's looking bit more grim for Rox.KIS. They can't actually fight Dignitas, and I don't see a way for them to possibly fight in the next 10 minutes. Dignitas just brute forcing their way in. They're gonna pick up Solo. Solo gonna get defensively disrupted. Can he blink out to safety yet again? He pops by Carapace, but way too sexy. And Universe with the assault gonna drive Solo away, but they're gonna have to retreat. They managed to pick off the tier 2. Meanwhile, the split pushing Nature's probably gonna apply pressure on both the tier 3 mid and the tier 3 top, and we're gonna force a multitude of teleports away by the side of Dignitas. Keeper Light is still there. He still can potentially get the recall, but he's so low in terms of HP. Does have the mechanism back online, and it looks like Dignitas is finally going to back off, saying enough is enough. We just want to get full HP, full mana. But this is looking... I know I've said that a lot in this game, but now Dignitas suddenly look like they're the stronger team in this game, as AUI gonna get himself hexed up. Soul Catcher and Force Staff gonna use the Force Staff by Fog to gonna help propel him away from the Rox.KIS squad, as Tinker gonna blink in. The Blade Fairy is gonna be there, but the Desolator hit by the Juggernaut, or by the Nature Spot, but will secure Juggernaut's death. He does manage to pick up the healer, and meanwhile Snaking is gonna be back onto the hunt, and Solo trying to get an impale. Snaking will blink away. Universe might actually die. Gonna arm with Toggle as well as he possibly can, but he will probably die at long last. He does finally die. Gives up a huge gold streak to the Nature's Prophet, who's gonna love that extra bit of income. Rox.KIS actually gonna pop a Chasing Smoke, but the Queen of Pain just gonna blink on either. And Universe does have buyback. He has not bought an item in quite a while, but Rox.KIS finally gonna reclaim their long lost gem. And man, this game is something else. Holy shit. But yeah, if you look at these past couple engagements, I mean, it seems like Dignitas have the edge, but it's just so hard to push it into the Rox.KIS base because they're constantly split pushing. They're facing against March Machines, Rocket Flares, Impales, Mana Burns, and you have Keeper Light as well as Juggernaut constantly sustaining yourself, but those spells have cooldowns. You know, Mana Burn at this point has such a low cooldown. Rocket Flare has a relatively short cooldown as well, and that's pretty much an entire mech charge by itself. Well, maybe not so much. But yeah, Dignitas seem like they're winning, you know, 2 fights, but they can't win the 3rd because, you know, it's just so hard because they're constantly being pressured by all of these annoying spells. And Rox.KIS,
That is very true, B-Ballin.
Rox.KIS might finally claim themselves their first Aegis. Blink Dagger is picked up by Way Too Sexy, as this game is awesome. This game is, it's like, you know, you just can't knock Rox.KIS out. They're just throwing these wimpy little hooks, but eventually, it's just, they're rope-a-doping Dignitas, it seems like. And Dignitas have no choice but to sort of like go with it.
But, oh well. Oh god. Furion split push. Most annoying thing in the game.
Way Too
And
Sexy,
like,
gonna find himself
out.
hexed up, gonna hex up Universe as well. The Desolator being picked up by the Nature's Prophet, so crucial, as here comes the Pursuit. Gonna get the hex off onto the Nature's Prophet. Nature's Prophet will die, but guess what? He has buyback. He's gonna buyback immediately, just never wants to give it the pressure, and he's gonna pick out the Roshan. He wants that Aegis of the Immortal, as Solo gonna find himself picked off. The Rox.KIS can't possibly fight these engagements. So close to Dignitas' base, but they're just going to try to delay Dignitas, it seems like, as Tinker picks up the Aegis. Nature's probably going to be more than happy to get the cheese, I think. Yes, he does. As he still has a minus, he still has a lot of room to grow. And Dignitas, I mean, they're winning the fights, but that doesn't matter in the
But
end.
at what cost, B-Ballin? But at what cost?
Cue
Sorry, I've
weird,
always wanted to say that.
cue weird smiley face emoticon.
Yeah. Anyway, it looks like, just based off the way the map is right now, the top lane of Dignitas is going to fall sooner or later. Like, that's a given. I think Dignitas should just basically say, you know what, that lane's dead. Let's not even try to defend it, but we need to get our other lanes under control. I mean, sooner or later, Furion's going to take that lane, right? He's going to TP in and attack it 5 times. You can either worry about it and waste a ton of resources delaying it for 5 minutes, or you can let it happen and go for the other lanes. But we'll see if they actually do that. Some teams will and some teams won't. I don't know if Dignitas is that willing to just get rid of Arax.
I'm watching AUI and I just have this big grin on my face because he's using healing word to heal up the creeps. He was at full HP, but he's just using it for creeps. As meanwhile, the chop rack's gonna get pushed in once again. And unfortunately for AUI, he's only been able to pick up the Aghanim's. He's just been dying over and over in these fights, and therein lies the problem of Juggernaut. Once you sort of use all your spells, if you don't have the requisite amount of farm, you just
Hey, Alex, solo. Oh, he dodges it!
Oh, the haste jukes!
Too
Saying,
good.
no chicken.
He's actually got the cheese. They gave him the cheese, too.
Oh wow. I thought, well, I guess Nature Swab is just gonna play like a bitch for the next 3 minutes. Woe Dota chicken, woe Dota. Dread.
Smiley face, smiley face. Normally when there's that many D's on a smiley face, it means that the girl you're talking to really wants to hook up. But I think Dread's just really, really happy about that play, I guess. So, yeah, I don't... Did I talk about Manton Tinker before?
No, but
This is a situation in which you would consider it when you just want to throw stuff out of racks and not care. Marathon Tinker seems kind of stupid, right? You're like, oh, it doesn't give him anything. Well, it gives you 2 illusions that, because you have so much intelligence, they actually hurt for a lot, and then you just, uh-oh, mid lane.
gonna see it teleported in by the Nature Prophet, gonna hex up Universe, but the teleport by the Tinker is actually cancelled, and here comes a return hex on Nature's Prophet. He doesn't have buyback, but he's just gonna get 4 staff away. Dread just gonna be willing to throw away his life as Dread gonna get abyssal, but Universe just getting hexed over and over and over and over again. AUI is there. Can he pop the heal, or the mechanism was used as well? Universe gonna just be able to survive. Not enough right click damage on the side. Rox.KIS' Omni Slash going to work. Meanwhile, the Illuminate is gonna be popped. The Aegis is gonna expire on the side of the Tinker, who does manage to pick up the Lester in the end. Solo gonna delay the pursuit with the Spike Carapace as well as the Impale, but he's getting constantly mana leaked as AUI still at full HP. Universe is dead. He doesn't have buyback any longer, and that's going to prompt immediate teleport top by the Nature's Prophet, who's forced to escape. Keep in mind, Nature's Prophet doesn't have buyback himself, and if he dies, he's going to be out of the picture for the next minute and a half, and this is... what the fuck? Meanwhile, Tinker going in on way too sexy, gonna get mana leaked. He's completely out of mana. He's gonna find himself zapped in the face. BZZ, if he dies, he does have buyback, but I'm sure he doesn't want to spend all that gold, as I think he has a significant streak on his head. Dread gonna pop defensive cogs again. If there's ever a more annoying lineup for a team, I'd like to see Rox.KIS, you know. I like to see some teams try, as meanwhile Vanscore gonna be on the retreat. Nick Sesson trying to get the Impale up, but Vanscore will die, and that Nature's Prophet death suddenly opened a huge door for Dignitas, but they haven't even claimed the middle tier 2. Way too sexy will die as well. Soul gonna be more than happy to throw his life away. He doesn't have Bayak, and he's trapped. He's surrounded on all sides by the team of Dignitas, but the Impale as well as Spike Carapace gonna slow on the assault, but unfortunately for Solo, the Shadow Strike just constantly disabling his dagger. Fogged gonna go for some clutch body blocks, knowing that's pretty much the only thing he can do, as meanwhile the Scream of Pains and the Shadow Strikes just constantly annoying the heck out of Soul. AUI gets a second Omni Slash in the span of 1 B-ball and soliloquy, and the game continues. And Furion's gonna be back in 10 seconds, so suddenly Dignitas are just like, well, fuck. That's what I'd be saying.
Well, at this point, items and team fight potential doesn't matter so much as your lanes. You know what I'm saying? So, Dignitas has a lot of stuff, but... oh, they had a dagger on Universe, I missed that. But it doesn't matter because their lanes are... like, look at this. What do they do about it?
Just gotta...
oh, no, that's what they do about it.
oh, they're gonna hex the Nature's Prophet, but... oh, Nature's Prophet's actually 100 gold short. His buyback cooldown was up. I was gonna say he has buyback. He just does not have enough gold. He will be able to claim it in the next 40 seconds or so, so that probably won't matter too much. He might even just save it, knowing that the lane has been pushed out, and actually Dignitas lost their top barracks in that continued prolonged engagement. And meanwhile, Dignitas are just like, oh my god, what do we do? They picked up the Vlads on AUI, definitely a good choice. They need all the help they can get in terms of pushing, but still, that doesn't really matter when they're just pushing every other lane in the book.
Yeah. But at this point, I think Furion's death there was actually bigger than it seems because I think he's going to be scared to do that again. It wasn't so much that he died, it's just that they got the fear of death in him, you know? Like, they said, oh, you know what, we are going to invest in co-op and TP to your lane and do this next time you try to do that. And with the Keeper of the Light, you can recall, so he might be a little more reluctant to try that again. I think it's important to keep on trying to do it, though. But either way, their mid lane's going to be getting pushed, and this is make or break time, because if you wipe here, you lose the game.
Nature's probably forced to buy back, so if he dies, he's dead. And that could be the game, but here comes Hex onto Universe, getting it pushed back by the Cog. Solo looking to initiate. He's going to find himself abyssaled up. He will die. He doesn't have buyback. No, the Ghost Scepter going to delay. The Omni Slash Assault Disruption going to be used as well. Just constantly cock blocking Universe. Universe going to find himself hexed up yet again. Juggernaut does manage to pick off the Clockwork. Tinker layering down marches as if it's icing on a cake, as he does have buyback if he does die, but Meal the teleport is going to be there. That's going to be the next. He's going to get the stun off onto Universe. Universe will die. Universe does have buyback. He will be forced to buyback. He is going to buyback. Meal and Nature's probably just going into the mid lane. Already picked off the bottom lane. Oh my god. I did not even see that happening, but that was definitely not unexpected. Nature's probably just
Most
raking
annoying
in.
hero.
I mean,
I'll stand by it.
it's...
I actually won't stand by it. Keeper of the Light's pretty freaking annoying. But,
I mean, Keeper.
yeah. This is... I don't know if I've ever seen, and I'm sure I have once or twice, but I don't remember ever seeing a team win a game against a Furion when he had both side lanes down. I
Without a
think
Phantom Lancer, probably.
Oh, yeah, probably something like that. But,
Or a Gyro.
for the most part, you can't control your lanes. Like, I was literally in this situation that Dignitas was in, except I was a 6-slotted Medusa, and I still lost the game. Like, it doesn't matter. You're gonna lose your base if you try to do anything. So, Dignitas has to come up with some sort of contingency plan. They need to, like, sit in lane, smoke, kill the Furion, and then push, or something like that, because this is just so fucking annoying. Like, look at this. They can't control any of their map, and he's just running and hiding.
I mean, if you kill the Furion, then you have a Tinker. I mean, he doesn't push as fast, but still. I mean, they have to kill the Furion. He's buying back constantly. As Dignitas is going to smoke up. They're trying to get the smoke dispelled so they know where Furion is. But Furion just playing smart. He's playing like a bitch, but that's his smart Dota. You got to do what it takes to win the game. And he is going to hide in his forest as if his life depended on it. And he will be successful in doing just that. And all the while, his buyback cooldown is ticking away. He doesn't have enough gold. Gonna go for the Daedalus, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. As we're gonna see BZZ just gonna blink right in front of Way Too Sexy's face, just taunting him. Say, what are you gonna do about this? Is Dignitas? I mean, this is just so hard. Like, at what point do you just say, "Fuck Furion, we just have to go all mid"?
You need to have both your lanes pushed out to the extent that he won't be able to take your tier 4s in the spaces you can go and get a Rax in. So they need to get both of their lanes under control, but that's even harder because there's a Tinker. It's not just Furion. So I honestly think that they need to kill him before they do anything.
Well, Dignitas have 2 minutes because.
Oh my god, what is Solo doing?
Oh my god, Solo! Is he just wasting Dignitas' time?
Yeah, I think. I don't know. I don't know why he would do that. I think he wanted to go for a pickoff, and then it went bad, to say the least, but he's just running around. Okay, I'm
gonna say that was extremely brilliant because he delayed, about 10 more seconds from the Furion buyback timer. So he planted the Furion to Dignitas from their Crow getting sniped again.
Well, at this point, I think that. Oh my god, that's so fucking annoying. They have the Tinker, and he's just sitting there next to them, like 2 feet from them in trees, and they can't do anything about it. I feel for Dignitas right now. Sorry for my language, but
no, I've already
just how irritated I am.
I mean, this is... Oh, I'm still gonna book in looking to engage upon Solo. Solo doesn't have buyback, as you can see, Way Too Sexy and Visible Up, or pop his invisibility, as he managed to steal Vendetta. Pretty decent spell, gives him a bit more mobility, but honestly, not gonna matter when Dignitas, or when Rox.KIS is just gonna run out of there, and meanwhile, Furion buyback is gonna be up in another 50 seconds. Doesn't have enough gold, so actually that's not gonna matter too much. But Tinker does have buyback. He has not died in quite a while. As Dignitas gonna get the rush on. This is gonna be very important. As Rox.KIS once again not gonna contest it, but still the Lifestealer and the Queen of Pain can potentially pick them off. So Rox.KIS not eager to push in so aggressively. But no, I guess Furion just doesn't care. He's going to go for the tier 3. The Roshan is going to die. Here comes the Mana Drain, going to get blind lighted as well as Force Staff, but of course that does not break channeling. Furion going to escape, and thank God that he did, because if he did, then Rox.KIS would find himself in a terrible, terrible situation. Meanwhile, Tinker pushing out the top lane, all the while Leicester does pick off Dread in the middle lane. As BZ's going to teleport himself in, going to go to work on Universe. Universe taking a lot of damage, Shiva's Guard as well as the laser and rockets. Finally putting in a lot of damage as well as the Fear on DPS is going to get themselves a kill. Fearing getting closer and closer to buyback as here comes the assault onto AUI. He's going to find himself hexed up as well. He's going to get perma-hex Shiva's Guard as well as the laser and rocket will be used. Universe does not have buyback for another 15 seconds, and this is going to be Milrex for sure. The glyph is going to have to be forced out. AUI going to have to buy back, but it's just a juggernaut. Meanwhile, Tinker pushing out the top lane. Ninja's probably going to kill off the tier 3 mid, and Universe going to have to buy back. Snaking going to...
BZZ's dead.
Snaking gonna get himself hexed up, but BZZ will probably die in exchange. Gonna get defensively disrupted for the umpteenth time. He's gonna blink out to safety. The illusion's by himself just a moment's notice as we all Nature's Prophet going to work trying to pick off the barracks. The glyph was forced. Nature's Prophet will die. He does not have buyback. He won't have buyback for the next 110 gold, but all the while the top barracks gonna die in exchange. Dignitas gonna get pressured by multiple lanes. They're gonna go to work on Tinker. Tinker still has buyback. He's gonna try to slow down the assault as long as possible, waiting for his Nature's Prophet ally to back him up. He's gonna buy back. He's gonna find himself teleporting to the bottom lane.
That's a mistake. That's a mistake. If Tinker dies, they lose the game. He should not have TP'd in.
Well, NA does manage to pick off the middle barracks. They kill off Fogged, but I mean, it's a keeper low at this point. BZ's gonna have to get the heck out of there. They're gonna use the Aegis. Who had the Aegis? It's gonna be the Queen of Pain as BZ trying to get the heck out of there, but he is gonna blink. Oh my god, the Hex and the Abyssal Blade gonna go to work.
I think that's game. I think Dignitas wins right now. I think they do.
It's gonna be really hard because they're facing Glyph and...
They can have one person stay in bot lane, probably sneaking, recall him into the push, and by, like, if Dignitas gets situated in a push without the Tinker starting it by being, you know, an obnoxious piece of shit, I think that they can just take the game. They can just win.
Oh my god.
Cogs might slow them down, but I'm pretty sure they're just going to go for it. Yeah, they are, and they're just going to recall way too sexy.
Illuminate gonna go to work on the creep wave. Cogs have already been used. Cogs have such a short cooldown. His universe is gonna get constantly pushed away. And we're gonna have to see when the glyph is popped. Nature's Prophet is gonna be back up. Nyx doesn't have buyback. Tinker does not have buyback, of course. He already just used it as they're just gonna bypass the barracks completely. Very, very smart. They know this is their only option. As meanwhile, oh, Nature's Prophet gonna immediately teleport into the middle lane. The tier 4 gonna be under assault. Cogs are placed in a perfect position to push back once, but not to do repeated pushbacks. As Nature's Prophet gonna go for the base to pick up mega creeps. The towers are under assault for the side of Dignitas, but the throne is under assault for the side of Rox.KIS. Hook gonna catch multiple people. As meanwhile, the throne is now under assault for the side. Dignitas is going to watch that counter, but you can see the throne on the side of Rox.KIS just dying a bit more quickly. No, actually, they're dying at almost the same rate, but Rox.KIS' throne is just going to die. 390 HP left on the Dyer's Ancient, but Dignitas claim the game. They're going to take the series 2-0.
Hashtag the king coming out from Bulba. Wow. Yeah, I guess my only thought on the end of that game was that Tinker, his eyes were bigger than his stomach. He TP's in. He's like, yeah, I can get mega creeps and we'll win. But he died for it. And I think if he just held his buyback, they would have, like, Dignitas had no chance to win. I think.
I mean, this is interesting because this was talked about in MAD, how Western teams play stupid in the late game. They have no patience. And I think we saw a pretty good example of that right there.
They had patience for 54 minutes, and then in the 55th minute, they just said, fuck it, and they tried to end the game, and they lost.
I mean, that is a heartbreaker for Rox.KIS, as they're going to be out of the Cursed Dota Invitational, and that means Dignitas is going to move on to face Liquid once again in the Cursed Dota Invitational. What a game. Hopefully you enjoy that. Thanks for watching, and we will probably bring you some Western qualifiers whenever we can, but thanks for watching, everybody, as usual, and we'll see you next time. Peace.